What's up team? I'm Andy Wang, and in this video I share with you guys the basic registrations that you need if you want to start a business in Australia. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video because I have a gift for you. One of the most common questions I get when I meet people who are looking to get into business for the first time is, what do we need to register to start a business, or a variation of that sort of question. Sometimes I'd meet people who've done one or two steps in the whole registration process and are just sort of feeling their way through it. But the issue with that is it's actually taking them a lot longer to even just do those one or two steps, and their time is better spent actually starting the business. As a whole, it sounded like a lot of people I spoke to were lost, and as a business advisor and accountant, I found myself sort of helping them and guiding them through the whole startup process. Honestly, I really don't feel like the whole startup process should be intellectual property, and it really deserves to be demystified. It was actually recently when a friend of mine was looking to start a business that she asked me, what do I need to register, and do you basically have a checklist which tells me what I need to do? So just like that, I thought I'd create a video on it so that everyone can benefit from the knowledge. And like I mentioned, stick around till the end and there's a bit of a gift for you guys. Or be cheeky and fast forward to the end. Either way, I hope you guys get something out of this. So on that note, let's get into it. I'll run through the steps that I take when registering a business for myself personally, my partners, my clients, including the order which I do them in. Step 1, the tax file number, or the TFN. If you're going to be trading, then you'll need to lodge a tax return. And to lodge a tax return, you'll need a tax file number. This is absolutely compulsory. Very quickly, if you're a sole trader, which means you're running the business in your own name, then more likely than not, you'll already have a tax file number. But if you're running your business out of another vessel, like a company or a trust structure, then you'll need to register a tax file number for that separate vessel. So if you are needing to register a tax file number, as of the date of this video, the easiest way I've found to get a tax file number is to do it as part of step 2, which is the ABN registration process. So the tax file number is the first thing you need, but it can be done as part of step 2. On that note, step 2, the Australian business number, ABN. The ABN is basically an identifier for your business. While it's not compulsory and not everyone may be entitled to it, it's something which I always do. To me, it may as well be compulsory because honestly, without it, you're not going to get very far. Without it, you won't be able to do things like register a business name or access your business portal or a bunch of other things which we'll cover throughout this video. What you'll find is that some suppliers or customers won't actually do business with you unless you have an ABN. On top of that, unless you state your ABN, customers can actually withhold a good chunk of their payment to you as basically tax withheld on your behalf. Like I said, while it's not compulsory, it pretty much may as well be. Step 3, the Oskie. Once again, this isn't compulsory, but it's something which I get my clients to do because it makes their life a hell of a lot easier. All an Oskie is basically an electronic identifier that you install on your PC, laptop, or a little USB drive. Now the Oskie itself doesn't actually do that much and isn't that useful, but you actually need it to access the business portal, which is going to be super useful to you. Step 4, the business portal. In a nutshell, the business portal is just the Australian government's business online services program. In it, you can actually check up on and update information and lodge documents for your business. Super useful to have access to and actually gives you more control over your business. I always believe in empowering the business owner so that you're able to manage and be across all aspects of your business if you choose to. As I mentioned in step 3, you'll need the Oskie, the electronic identifier, to actually access the business portal. So firstly, register for the Oskie and then register to access the business portal. Step 5, ASIC Connect. ASIC Connect is basically another portal. Personally, I have a love-hate relationship with it. So far, the only thing that I use ASIC Connect for is registering, managing, and transferring business names. On the plus side, managing, registering, and transferring business names is super useful. On the downside though, it's another portal which you need to have access for, and because I only ever use it for the whole business name management process, I always end up forgetting the password. But if you're going to want to register a business name, you will need an ASIC Connect account. Which leads us to step 6, registering a business name. If you want your business to be called something other than your own name or the name of your company or trust, then you're going to want to register a business name. Now, a few tips with business names. The business name actually attaches itself to your ABN. Remember the thing we did back in step 2? That's why I said it was pretty much compulsory. Without it, you're going to have a hard time getting a business name. You can actually register multiple business names also. So if you're either unsure of which one you want to go with, or you're wanting different aspects to your business and you want each one to be called something different, then you can actually register a few. While you're coming up with business names, I'd really recommend coming up with a few variations because there are lots of businesses in Australia and there's a good chance that your name has been taken. Check if the business name that you want is available or not. Jump on the ASIC website and you can do the search there. Step 7. GST, Goods and Services Tax. You know that thing that bumps up all your bills and all the things you buy by 10%? Well, this is what it is. At the date of this video, as a business, as long as you're turning over under $75,000, then it's actually not compulsory to register for. What that means is you don't need to charge GST on your sales, but the downside of that is that you can't claim any GST credits on the money you've spent in your business. Most businesses that I work with and that I encounter are going to be registered for a GST at some point in time, so they end up doing it from the beginning. But I do have some clients who have small service businesses where it's basically their side hustle and they're making $20,000, $30,000 a year and they don't actually end up registering for it. It is very situational dependent, but the majority cases which I encounter, they end up registering for GST. Either way, if you decide that you want to or need to be registered for GST, you can actually do that via the business portal, which is that really useful thing that we did back in step 4. For the most of you, that pretty much covers your basic registrations. After that, you're ready to rock and roll. For some of you though, you're ready to actually employ people straight off the bat, in which case, you need step 8, pay-as-you-go withholding. What this is, if you've ever had a job before, then you'll know that your employer actually takes a clip out of your pay and withholds tax on your behalf. If they've withheld the right amount, when you go to lodge a tax return, you don't really need to pay anything, and sometimes you even get some money back. It's because they've withheld and paid the tax on your behalf. That's pretty much what pay-as-you-go withholding is. So if you're going to be employing people, it'll be your turn to withhold payments from their salary and pay it to the tax office on your employee's behalf. Once again, you'll need to register for it, and once again, this can be done on your business portal, which was in step 4. Alright guys, that pretty much covers your basic registrations and you can go out and pretty much start hustling. As a bit of a footnote here, I've only covered the very basic points. There are a few nuances in each step, which I personally look at depending on my client's individual situations. So my recommendation, if you're unsure about any of what we talked about in this video, definitely run it by an advisor. As promised guys, there's a bit of a gift to you. If you check out the comments of this video, there should be a link where you can download a one-pager which summarizes everything we went through in this video. It'll very casually run through everything I've talked about in this video, as well as giving you the links where you can go and do all the registrations. Now, as of the date of this video, the links are still current, but they are subject to update. Anyway guys, I hope you guys have found this useful, and if you know of anyone who's starting a business or have just started a business and haven't done their whole registration process yet, feel free to forward this on to them. And until next time, done.